So we're going to talk about controlling the club face and what our hands do, what our wrists do to help control this club face. So if I just take my grip and pick the club up. So right now the toe is perfectly above the shaft. That's essentially a nice squared club face position. Now when you think about what your hands do in the swing, really I'm right-handed. I don't feel like my right hand is doing a whole lot in the golf swing. So wherever that club face points, the one thing I do recognize is wherever my palm points, my right palm, for a right-handed player, that's where the club face is essentially going to point. Now, it's always going to mirror the club face. Club face mirrors my right palm. Now, when I have the club back in this position here, toe up, if I turn the club and the toe is right of the shaft, one thing I want you to notice here is you can see how my left hand is getting in this cupped, extended position. So what that does, if I ever cup my left hand, my left wrist in the swing, that opens the club face. What that also means, if I'm swinging into the golf ball, if my left hand is cupped, if my left hand knuckles point up at the sky, the club face is in an open club face position as I swing into the golf ball. So let's go back here again. If I take that setup position, toe above the shaft, if I turn the toe left of the shaft just a little bit, that's more of a closed club face position. So again, my right palm's mirroring the face, but more importantly, when the club was open, my left hand was cupped and extended in that extended position. Now my left wrist, if it's closed, is in this bowed, flexed position. So bowed or flexed, whichever way you want to call it, is going to help close the club face position. So when I go back, I want that club face kind of matching my spine angle. Well, you can see my lead wrist is very straight at that point. I want to avoid cupping and getting that lead wrist cupped and extended. I want to keep it more in that flexed bowed position. And if you watch, you can see when that happens, you can see how stable the club is going to stay up to the top. And as I come back down, that club face is being controlled perfectly by my hands and wrist without overusing those body segments throughout the swing. It's a nice stable position, control the club, know what your hands are doing, know what your lead wrist does. It's going to be straight, flex, bowed, whatever you want to call it, in the backswing and downswing, and basically right until impact, then it's going to revert and go the opposite way, because essentially as I swing into the golf ball, as soon as I go back, my lead wrist is flexed, therefore my trail hand is going to be extended in that cupped position all the way to the top. It's going to maintain that as I swing back down in the golf ball. Post impact, I'm going to hit the golf ball, and then as I go forward, eventually, my lead wrist is going to be in that cupped, extended position, and now my trail wrist is going to be in that bowed, flexed position. But again, this is how we're going to control that club face and keep it stable without opening it excessively throughout the swing. So understand what your hands are doing, your wrists are doing, and you're going to start to control the golf ball. You're going to own ball flight.